Battlefield 5 has had an interesting week. We got a new map, Operation Mercury, which has been very cool. Beautiful looking map. It's got some gameplay things I'd change about it, but ultimately I'm having a lot of fun on it. Just having new content is great. But we've also gotten a bunch of big announcements. Some controversial, some very exciting. The most recent of which just happened today, where they're detailing the new ranking system. Since the first few weeks of Battlefield 5, people have been complaining about the rank system because it took virtually no time at all to hit rank 50, and now there's no real way in-game to differentiate players who have dedicated a lot of time into the game versus players who have played it, for 20 hours. Plus, it's always been sort of part of the Battlefield process of spending 400 or 500 hours to hit that max rank in-game, and that being sort of a big signal that you're really dedicated to this game, that you're a good player. So when you had that level cap in game showing off on the scoreboard, it meant something else. Now it doesn't mean anything, so DICE has increased the rank cap to 500. Okay, well, they haven't done it yet. It's actually going to happen in the later part of the 4th chapter, which is kind of unfortunate. I was hoping it'd be a little bit sooner, but for whatever reason, it appears that adding lots more ranks to the game is not that simple of a process. That being said, they have elaborated considerably on how the rank system is going to work. Each 50 ranks, you will get promoted and you will get a new badge, a new icon, and you will get a big company coin reward, I believe, but you'll also be getting company coin once again in between each and every rank, kind of like you did from rank 0 to 50. The current company coin generation system that is implemented once you hit rank 50 will be turned off and re-implemented once you hit 500. So you're not gaining a ton of additional company coin plus your rank company coin, but by the time you hit rank 500, DICE says you will have generated over 2 million company coin. Now we just need some stuff to spend that company coin on, but hopefully by the time you hit 500, there will be a lot more cosmetics in the store. Also, when it comes to the ranking up speed, the curve of it will be reset each 50 ranks. So basically, getting from 99 to 100 will be a big hump to get over that rank, but once you hit 100 to 101, that rank up will be considerably less than it was before, and it'll start getting incrementally harder as you get to 150, and then it'll reset again, and then from like 199 to 200, it'll be another really tough rank to progress past. So that's how it's going to do. It's going to reset it every 50 ranks to sort of keep the progression fun, not just getting progressively harder from all the way up to 500. That might be kind of crazy. Now, of course, the first question I have, like many others did, was, will this be retroactive? I've got well over 400 hours in a Battlefield 5. Is that going to bump me along? Am I going to be rank 100 when this starts, 200? Like, what's going on? Nope, everybody's starting at 50. A bit of a letdown there, but I get it. Some people would probably be upset, maybe, if they didn't get to experience the entire progression system, and so everybody's starting at 50. So the hours you put into the game before this won't count towards the progression, but it's not like we didn't generate company coin, or at least have a good time. If you've been playing this game for 400 or 500 hours, you've been enjoying it as opposed to just doing it for the grind. But anyway, that's pretty much how the new rank system is going to work. We don't have a firm release date for it yet, but as soon as they do have one, they'll let us know. It's not going to be available when Chapter 4 launches. It'll be later in Chapter 4. So expect that. But anyway, this is good news in the long run. It's getting implemented. 500 ranks should be more than enough, and it sounds like there's probably going to be a lot of hours required to max out. Now, regarding some of the other news this week, some of it a bit more controversial. The first thing here is just Hannah and Wilhelm have came as 2 new elite skins that you can buy. One for the Germans, one for the Allies. Hannah is the first female elite skin in the game. They both look pretty cool. I don't know if I'm really buying into the whole elites thing anymore. I tried out the first 2, and the fact that you can't mix and match the components with them on other soldiers feels like a really big letdown for me. So I'm just going to be focusing on other skins and whatnot, and not so much on the elite stuff. Perhaps DICE will allow you to mix their components in the future as an added feature. DICE has finally given us an explanation to the Pit Crew skin, which was initially available for company coin in-game in the armory. Then it disappeared and didn't show up until just recently, but this time it actually costs real-world money to get the skin, and it's marked as an elite level skin. DICE has said that the initial release of this skin was a bug and that it was always intended to be an elite level skin. Obviously, people are not particularly happy with it, but that's the response given, and that's where it's at now. The really controversial stuff, though, is the removal of game modes. Now, DICE is planning on getting rid of Domination and Frontlines as primary game modes that will be available all the time. They do have plans of reintroducing them in limited time game mode formats, but they don't want these game modes to be up and available all the time. The reason for this is that the game modes have not been popular enough to warrant putting a lot of effort behind continual development of them and implementing them in all new maps and stuff coming out. And also that they just didn't feel like those game modes were particularly well balanced overall, and they needed the most work out of the other game modes. Now, I didn't really play a lot of Domination, in fact, hardly any Domination, and one of their reasons was also that Squad Conquest was sort of taking over that role of Domination, and I have to agree, Squad Conquest is a good game mode, and it does fit that small form factor objective-based gameplay really well. So in a sense, I understand that, but obviously there's going to be some people that are like diehard Domination fans. Now, when it comes to Frontlines, to be perfectly honest, I forgot that this was a mode that you could play in its own playlist. Like, I forgot that Frontlines existed as a 32-player game mode on individual maps. I thought it was just chalked in as part of the Grand Operations experience, because the last time I played a Frontlines exclusive playlist on PC, at least in my region or neighboring regions, was probably at the launch of Battlefield 5. And then the game mode became not popular enough to sustain servers, and so I just haven't seen any servers playing dedicated Frontlines since then. So at least from my perspective, I completely understand that it's just not a popular game mode and nobody's playing it. There are people out there that say they've been playing Frontlines and nothing but Frontlines, and I imagine in certain regions, or specifically on console with higher player counts, that there probably are still some dedicated Frontline servers and whatnot. And if that's all you've been playing and that's what you love about Battlefield 5, then that does suck that it's getting removed. But I do understand DICE's reasoning behind this, and it's actually been something I've been arguing for a long time, not specifically about Frontlines, but to reduce the overall quantity of game modes. I feel that so many of the game modes in Battlefield games are poorly balanced, not supported well enough. There's weird little bugs and issues all over the map that just need a lot more tender love and care, and that can't be done when you're developing 20 different game modes for each map and having to balance each game mode. I want them to reduce the game modes. I even made a video like a month or two ago that was talking about reducing the total quantity of game modes in Battlefield to 3. I felt like you could get the entire Battlefield experience with 3 different game modes that were properly balanced. And so I support this. It doesn't mean Frontlines and Domination are going away forever. They will be available as rental server program options. And as we know, the RSP system is also going to be free. If you just want to throw together a quick match to play with some friends, you'll be able to test out Frontlines and Domination in that sense. And DICE does plan on re-releasing Frontlines and Domination in the future as timed game modes, kind of like they're doing with the Fortress game mode and whatnot. They'll design it or reimagine it on a few maps, and then it becomes available for a week or two, people play it, and then it goes away before the popularity of it wanes or whatever. So obviously, you're going to have a lot of people upset when you say you're removing any content, specifically game modes, that there's going to be some people that are absolutely in love with it, but DICE does have the data. They know which ones of their modes are very popular and which ones are not popular, and I think this is a smart move on their part. I support it, and I'm not saying that the people who love Frontlines are wrong to love Frontlines, but I do think that DICE should start focusing on lesser game modes and polishing those fewer game modes than trying to cram as many into the game as possible. The last little bit of update news was that they're working on the performance issues and the lag issues and all that stuff in the game. I'm honestly a bit tired of hearing about this. I want to see it, let me see what's being done, because they're not at the point where they're even saying that a patch is going to come out fixing this right away. So I'll wait and see. When there's a patch coming out and they say that there's going to be a massive performance improvement with the lag and whatnot, then I'll start getting excited. And that wraps it up for all the stuff that's been happening in Battlefield 5 this week. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.